Hey guys, I'm JanetOnOccasion, and today we're playing another Total War Warhammer 2 Battle Replay. I'm sure you've seen the title by now, the Gobbo King is back. And yeah, a couple of things. If you were subscribed to his channel before, you're going to have to do it again. Last time he disabled the channel, it deleted all of the subs. So you're no longer subscribed to it. So go check him out. Also, he's on Twitch, and he's focusing on streaming now more than anything else. That's what he's doing now. He's not doing sort of battle replays. He's focusing on streaming. So here you can see straight away he has death runners. So he's got a couple of death runners here, concealment bombs straight away because he wants to get them stuck in immediately. And yeah, that lasts for a while. So unspottable and stalk, it means they have to be super close to get spotted. So their target's going to get caught out no matter what. But death runners with that huge armor sundering with their weeping blades, 50% armor reduction. These night runners and these gutter runners with poison are going to be able to kill anything that these guys get into contact with. I mean, their main problem is they don't have a lot of armor piercing, but you get rid of half of the armor, these guys are going to cash in. So beautiful combination of troops here, and they're all very mobile. It's going to be very hard to catch out any of them. And, you know, Ice Wolves, yeah, they could catch them out, but if they all just focus on the Ice Wolves are going to be dead and routed before they can do anything. So, yeah, a lot of strength here. Absolutely love it. The rest of his army, he does have a load of clan rat spears, some more clan rat spears over there. He has rat ogres for a bit of extra armor piercing punch, and a bit of mass, nice to block in chariots and things too. And he has a hell pit abomination, great for dealing with Famir. Very, very nice there. Very nice to have that as backup. And of course he does have Lord Skrolk, so Liber Bubonicus, great for doing damage to lords and heroes on a faction that can't heal especially. So Norsca, great candidate for that. Wulfric doesn't have a big health pool unless he's on the Mammoth, but the Mammoth is a bit of a risk with, you know, warp lightning cannons and the like available. So yeah, Skrolk, just great choice here, like he normally is, to be honest. I mean, let's be honest here, it's Skrolk. He's always the one, isn't he? Anyway, he can summon in more rats if he needs to, which is always good. And now, Turin's army. That's right, he's fighting Turin. What a comeback. So here, Marauder Champions, 4 of them. Turin always goes for the heavy infantry. Loves them. Also, Deathcaster on a chariot, brilliant for dealing with any infantry. You can run through cheap infantry all day without any problems, and you can just cut through them with that chariot. But Spirit Leech is going to be super useful for sniping out Skrolk. You overcast that, and the range is, you know, multitudes higher than the range of Liber Bubonicus, so he can stay safe and keep whittling down Skrolk's health if he wants to, which is great. He also has Aspect of the Dread Knight, because he didn't bring any terror himself, because he didn't want to bring any large targets, which I think is very cool. It's very clever. So no Mammoth for the terror. No, he'll just put terror on whatever he wants, which I really like. It also adds to leadership, which is good. Also, Wulfric the Wanderer, 100 champions, great. If you cast that on a Skaven Lord, they're never going to escape you. And that melee defense going down by, what is it, like 48 or something ridiculous? 45 melee defense reduction. So he's going to hit every time. And he doesn't necessarily need a lot of armor piercing, because it's going to be Skrolk, isn't it? Of course it is. So absolutely huge. Loads of speed and armor, just it lets him do so much work. Also, javelins in the back for dealing with anything big. You know, rat ogres, often used to try and, you know, block in Famir. And these guys will just rip them to shreds. They will tear them apart. Also here, you can see there are marauders on either side, and there's some spearmen as well, and he has 3 Norscan Ice Wolves. So, over here is where it begins. So let's speed things up. So here, straight away, Marauder Champions are caught out. They're taking some damage from these guys already, but now with only 40 armor, they're going to start taking a lot of damage. But the javelins, you know, they're going to do well against the death runners here, now that they've been caught out. And if you look, there's a pretty good, you know, avenue to shoot down to hit a lot of them. They're going to take a lot of damage. Marauder Champions hit pretty hard too. So yes, it's made the Marauder Champions very vulnerable, but the Death Runners are in a tight spot. Over here, Rod of Corruption helping to whittle down these Marauder Champions, and Plague Monks are being summoned to run in here and get some work done in whatever they can catch. The rest of the army, a lot of it is actually pulling back to make the Marauder Champions really work for their meal. Over here, yeah, Ice Wolves, straight away, routed. Fantastic. Very few casualties from that attack. Another unit is coming in. The Hell Pit Abomination is charged in, which has actually terrified the Marauder Champions, which is superb. Really nice to get rid of them early. Hopefully, they won't come back to any, you know, healthy degree. But Hell Pit, again, just like the Rat Ogres, quite low armor, and with the high weapon strength, well, high missile damage anyway, and the anti-large bonus, the javelins are just perfect for dealing with something like a Hell Pit. So this is dangerous, very dangerous. And now, Aspect of the Dread Knight has been cast on something. What was it cast on? Nope, it was a Doom and Darkness. My bad. Doom and Darkness on the Hell Pit. Great to get it to break early. And if you can keep some pressure on it, its leadership is going to drop very quickly, and it won't just break, it'll shatter, which is gigantic, because we'll see in a second, still getting hit, and I'm pretty sure it does actually proc Too Horrible to Die. So there's that Spirit Leech. And oh, come on, any day now. There we go, Too Horrible to Die. It's back up to 2,500 health, even with all this fire on it. But it's shattered. That's it. It's gone. That's it, gone. The rest of the, the rest of the fight, sure, Marauder Champions, they're going to get through this stuff eventually, but it's keeping a lot of stuff at bay, and these skirmishers are getting great value, hitting all of this stuff. Sure, this is a pretty nasty pocket, these Ice Wolves are still in pretty good shape, but a lot of this infantry is really suffering, and they have more Plague Monks to contend with. The Plague Monks can do pretty damn well against the Marauders and the Hunters, so they can fight whatever. But Turin is very quick to get his Lords and Heroes to charge in and deal with the Plague Monks, because they can get some good damage in there early. Spearmen are coming in to surround them too, so they are going to break pretty quickly. Being a summoned unit, they do start taking damage very fast. So over here you can see the Clan Rats. They have been terrified, and Lord Skrulk is fighting, well, Marauder Champions with Aspect of the Dread Knight. That's where the terror's coming from. Beautiful move. Anyway, more units are trying to sneak in around the back to get on top of these hunters that are being a real nuisance. Some of them still have a lot of ammunition left, and they can do good work against anything with low armor. Like, that anti-large bonus is great, but it's not necessary for killing a lot of Skaven units. So these two guys, they ran in trying to stop the Clan Rat spears, but he's had to leave them. He needs to get in here and do some work. So over here, more summons coming in, I think. Yep, there we go, more Clan Rats. So just constantly throwing bodies at these guys, and even if they do very little damage, it's enough damage, and it slows them down. It allows the the gutter runners, the death runners, just to focus on one thing at a time, because everything else is getting bogged down. It's very difficult for this stuff to get surrounded when the whole army's busy fighting just endless hordes. So Rat Ogres charging in. They did do some great damage to the Marauder Champions earlier, but javelins got to them, so they ended up having to run away again. But looks like these champions are in trouble, which is pretty great. Javelins are coming in again though, getting some good damage into all of this stuff. But Wulfric has been caught out. Another aspect of the Dread Knight, try and help terrify this stuff, but with a huge armor sundering, they're in a lot of trouble. Turin was very quick to respond though. He managed to get some Norscan Ice Walls back in to scare away some of these skirmishers, which means that he won't have to worry about getting shurikened to death. But it looks like he's going to have to worry about just being killed to death, which is pretty rough. Marauders are coming in to help, obviously the Chariot. But everything terrifies, everything gets routed here, including Wulfric though. Wulfric just survived. I mean, less than 300 health. That's crazy. If those Ice Hounds hadn't kept these guys busy, just one or two volleys from these guys, he'd have died. Easily. But that is more damage on the Shaman Sorcerer. Oh, must be said, yeah, 2 Libu Bonicuses on Wulfric, because obviously. But Skrulk is in a bit of trouble too. He's had the odd Spirit Leech cast on him. So he's trying to chase these guys down, but he's just keeping these Marauder Champions busy for the most part, while he focuses on one thing at a time. So there are some champions left in here, but it's mostly just Marauders and Spearmen. Spearmen, no shields, very low armor. Marauders, very low armor, but bronze shields, so you don't really want to waste your shurikens on them. But it looks like he's going for the Marauder Champions, and they're almost wiped out. And more skirmishers are able to come in around the back. They are everywhere. Death Runners had fled, but they're coming back in. These Marauder Hunters are being chased down, but over here it looks like Skrulk is being chased down by these Marauder Champions that will do a lot of damage. But that Rod of Corruption, it does some really good damage. It does some really good damage. It basically damages everything the same, So whether it's a big, armoured, heavy group or just some crappy Marauders, it's gonna kill them. So yeah, using it on some very expensive units like Marauder Champions, you get great value out of that. So Rod of Corruption, beautiful. But Rat Ogres are terrified. There's been another aspect to the Dread Knight. Yeah. These units are getting picked off though, and there's not much left. There's not much left for Norsca. And yeah, there's not a huge amount of ammunition left, but the sheer numbers. I mean, Night Runners and Gutter Runners, they're not awful in melee, and the fact they have poison on their melee as well is going to help everyone else fight. So there's still a huge amount of strength that can come in here and deal with this, this last pocket. But Skrulk is in a bit of trouble. He does manage to get the summon off, which is brilliant. Death Runner's coming in here, managing to sunder the armor, but that Chariot could do a lot of hurt to Skrulk. Luckily though, just in time, all the skirmishers have arrived, and he's not in a great position himself. They don't have a huge amount of health, those Shamans, and if he's in there much longer... No, he managed to get away without losing his armor. Yep, looks like the Death Runners have scarpered, but yeah, that's lasting. that debuff is lasting on the armor of the Marauder champions. So they're just getting skewered by cheap clan rats, night runners, the odd shuriken still flying in. And the Shaman Sorcerer was basically on his own. Wulfric is way over there, shattered. So yeah, it's not going to be long before he decides to quit, I think. This is not looking good for him. And yet, there go the champions. Those champions, just 2 injured. Everything else has been wrapped up. And the Shaman is done. Absolutely wonderful. So, Pyrrhic victory. I'd say it's a hell of a victory. Beautiful comeback. Yeah, Gobbo is called 1996 Honda Civic, which everyone knows is the sneakiest Honda. I say that. They make electric cars. Anyway, Honda Civic, apparently. I don't know why. Maybe he used to have one. I don't know. Cool. Anyway, he played this on stream the other day, if you don't believe me. So, yeah. Remember that. Anyway, so, Gobbo King is back. Be sure to go check out his YouTube channel. Resubscribe, because I know you were subscribed to him, because I know you were all subscribed to him at one point. Unless you're very new to the channel. But go check him out, because... yeah, really, really damn good. I mean, you know how good Turin is, I'm sure. You must have come across his channel before mine. You know he's capable. So for Gobbo to just give him the runaround like this is pretty damn impressive. So definitely worth checking out. Very pleased to have him back. Very pleased indeed. So, yeah, I mean, just beautiful, I think. This composition is superb. It takes a fair bit of micro, but I don't think Turin was expecting this at all. But I think Gobbo knew exactly what Turin was going to bring. You know, the Marauder Champions is just a classic for Turin. And that combination of Knight and Gutter Runners with the Death Runners, just so good for dealing with units like that. And you only have to deal with one unit at a time, because you can just throw bodies at the others. You know, it doesn't matter if they get 168 kills. It's worthless. It's just clan rats. Who cares? You know, they can get another 100. It doesn't matter. So, absolutely wonderful. Just great strategy. Just going down the line. Keeping all the skirmishers, you know, pretty close together. So if anything does come in to harass them, they just get focused down. Those ice walls never really got in. They were never really able to do much. So it's pretty amazing. But Javelins, I think, is a great pick. Aspect of the Dread Knight, really clever move. Don't bring a load of large targets with Terror, because it's always the large targets with Terror, because you're against Skaven, and there are Poisoned Wing Globadiers, Warp Lightning Cannons, all sorts. You don't want to mess with them that way. You know, you don't want to play on their terms. So bring Terror your own way. I think that's great. I rarely see that spell used well, so it was really nice to see that. And the rest of the comp, yeah, just great. I think this is a really good build, but Gobbo just knew exactly what was going to happen, and he's a sneaky sod like that. So, absolutely wonderful. Guys, if you enjoyed this, please do comment, like, and subscribe, and be sure to check out everybody's channels. I'm plugging everyone today. You get a plug. You get a plug. That'll do, I think. Have a good one, guys.